Assalamu alaikum. We have reached the point of identifying what type of righteous deeds and acts of worship qualify to be a secret with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and what qualifies not to be a secret with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have two categories already. Let's start with the second one. What are the acts of worship, and we say acts of worship, and righteous deeds that are righteous but they do not qualify to be a secret with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Being a Muslim, first thing, it's not a secret with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When one is a Muslim, embraces Islam or converts to Islam, then there's nothing secret about being Muslim. And the Muslim should present himself and identify as Muslim, and it's not a secret. That is number one. Number two, observing all the obligatory prayers or requirements. The 5 pillars of Islam are not secret. Every Muslim is fundamentally expected to observe them. So not observing them is the opposite, but observing them is the expected, and therefore it is not a secret with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another thing is the intention or the sincerity, the ikhlas between the individual Muslim and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows who is sincere and who is not sincere. But that is not a secret. It is not a secret because the Muslim is expected to be sincere, and that's what makes him Muslim. Sincerity, ikhlas. That is what makes a Muslim Muslim. Therefore, it is not a secret. So there is nothing wrong to put in the effort, visibly or invisibly, to attain and establish a strong sincerity with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Moving to the other side, then what are the acts of worship that qualify to be a secret with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We said on the other side, anything obligatory. Here, anything that is recommended but not obligatory, not prescribed as an obligation. So if fasting the month of Ramadan is an obligatory and it's not a secret, then fasting anything sunnah actually qualifies for establishing a secret with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Praying 5 times a day is not a secret. The Muslim is required to do that, and he is expected to do that by default. Praying any additional prescribed prayer, additional sunnah, nawafil, sunan, qiyamul layl, all these qualify to be a secret with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because the Muslim can do it almost every time of his choice. Giving charity qualifies to be a secret with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but not necessarily giving zakah, because zakat is prescribed. Going for umrah qualifies, additional umrah. But going for hajj, the first time hajj is not a secret, but going for any extra hajj for Allah's sake, it qualifies to be a secret. Now, something very important. If the Muslim is able to establish a constant habit of remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in all situations as possible, then he is establishing a very strong secret with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Engaging and occupying yourself with remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala qualifies for a very strong secret with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another thing is to love the individual Muslims out there for Allah's sake, not for anything else. This also qualifies for a secret with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are some of righteous deeds which are not obligatory but qualify to earn any Muslim a secret with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there are many more. Simply put, anything that is allowed and permissible in Islam, but it is not obligatory. All right. Of course, if one is very particular about the obligatory ones, also that may also earn him a secret with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But basically, and technically they are fundamental, they are foundation, they are the prerequisite. Therefore, they are not secret with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, having gone through all 7, this is the 7 short clips regarding establishing a secret with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one may still ask. In fact, one may still rightly ask, what are the benefits, or what are some of the benefits of establishing a secret with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Let's talk about that in the next. Until then, see you in Jannah. Wassalamu alaikum.